Rev up your engines! Today I'm going to be talking about some tools and products I've been trying out so you don't have to waste your money on things that don't work. Now this Depstech 630 endoscope has saved me a fortune. The other day it saved me a fortune on house repairs. Technology moves on. Now, this is an excellent professional endoscope. It's got the flexible cable, but it has the control here so you can turn it all over the place to look wherever you want. Now, if you go back in the past, a serious unit like this costs $5,000 to $7,000. This particular one's about $200 now. They have gone such a long way. Unbelievably crisp pictures. As you can see, it lights itself too. It's got its own light. And since it's high-end, hey, it's got a card too so you can record pictures or videos. Now this thing saved me a fortune the other day. There was a rotten beam, right? And I'm like, oh man, that could be the end, right? You wonder, why is the beam rotten? Are there termites? What's the story? Well, just figured it out. I just fished it, pushed it in, and I found out that there was only about this much of the beam rotting away. What had happened was the window, which faced the weather, the seal had gone. And I could see, okay, so I can either replace the whole window or, I'm a cheapskate, I'll take it all apart when I replace the rotten wood. I'll look closer at the frame of the window and probably just seal it. It could have been a disaster where termites got in and had eaten everything up. Well, with this, I could see there weren't any termites, and immediately, I was lucky, I did it on a sunny day, and the sun was facing that window. I could see the sun shining through, and I fished this up and saw, oh look, the frame of the window is just all warped, and there's a giant gap between that and the beams of the house, and that's how the water got in. Hey, it saved me a small fortune. And finally, a Chinese company knows what they're doing. They put the name on it. Depstech model DS630. Look at that, they're smart. They put it on there. Now there are literally thousands of different borescopes out there. Hardly any of them are going to be fully articulated like this and have such a great screen. The memory card's already in it for taking pictures and making videos, right? These things are so handy for car repair. You can think of a new use about every 10 seconds. You're not sure where a leak's coming from? Fish it in. Since you can look all around with this, you'll be able to see where the leak is. You want to check the inside of the engine? Pull out the spark plug, shove this in. That's why originally these were called borescopes. They were to check bores inside the engine or the bores inside a rifle. See if it's all rusted, the bore's all worn out. Engine work, it's phenomenal. Guys used to have these all the time when I had a friend in the 60s who worked on airplanes, but like I say, those things were like $5,000 to $6,000 back then. And imagine with inflation, that's what, you know, like $20,000 a day, this thing's $200. And believe you me, I tested out lots of them. Nobody pays me anything to say that they're good or bad. I just tell the companies, send me a product. I'll try it out, honestly. Tell you if it's good, tell you if it's bad. This is the best one that I've ever tested out. They have ones that are dirt cheap that you can use on your phone, cost you 15 bucks, okay? What do you think you're gonna get for 15 bucks? Yeah, they're little and you can see a little bit, but the apps on the phone don't work half the time. This baby has no apps. Ha, turn it on, that's it. Now it works. You don't have to go through some stupid app that's gonna break down half the time. It's an actual scope that is just phenomenal. Hey, I even used it the other day. I had a seed stuck in one of my teeth. And I'm like, oh, there it is. Now I can pick it up and throw it away. It is a very handy tool. I do have to say, it's the best one I've tested out so far. Now, if you're working on a car or anything, you gotta be able to see. Well, this little flashlight's pretty cool. Wuben X3, and it's got a lot of features that I like. You can see your work areas lit up. You don't need to use your hands. You can turn your body to light stuff up. Variably adjusted. Turn it on once, it shows you it's 50 lumens. Do it twice, it's 700 lumens. And if you look closely, you can see there's the battery range, so you know your battery's not gonna die. It just shows you that it's about 3/4 charged now. And there's no messing with batteries. The batteries are lithium ion, they're built in. Just put it in this little charging case and away it goes. Or if you want to use wireless, you can place it on a wireless and that recharges that way too. Hey, it doesn't weigh much, but I mean, look at this thing. Man, that's a bright little flashlight. It's charges through the charging posts or wirelessly replacing it down. It is truly waterproof. I threw this thing in a bucket of water overnight, brought it out, works perfectly fine. It is truly waterproof. It isn't like the things where they say, oh, your phone's waterproof, then it falls in the swimming pool and it doesn't work anymore. Hey, this one actually does. It is truly waterproof. Just look at the construction. Our little screws are going. The whole thing is screwed together with seals. It's not just some piece of plastic molded junk. It is actually all screwed together with seals, so it is truly waterproof. And since it does wireless charging, hey, no more, I got a flashlight, but I lost the charger, so it's useless. This will work on any wireless charger. Just place it on. It's set to the right voltage. Finally, somebody standardized something, so you don't search for, oh, let's see, is this 7 volts, 9 volts, 12 volts? No. It just does wireless charging, and you can just stick it there and it'll charge it up. I don't know how many lights I've thrown away because I lost the charger or the charger broke. Hey, this is universal. You can charge it anywhere. It is a real handy little light. I mean, take it camping, whatever you want. I use it all the time when I'm working on cars because it throws such a bright light when you put it on a high intensity that, hey, it lights up your area like no tomorrow. We're in broad daylight, and it still shines this bright in broad daylight. And today, I'm even going to show you the second place light. It's this tiny little Olight. It's got one setting and then a super bright setting. It's called the Olight IR2. Now, if you want an economy little light, hey, you open it up. It's got the same charger as your cell phone. It's got one of those little C chargers, right? So you can charge it anywhere you want. And if you notice, it's got an O-ring. And it's got the gasket to make it waterproof because there's no switch to turn it on and off. You screw it in once, and it's dim. You screw it in the rest of the way, and it's bright. So there's no external parts or switches to go bad, so it is truly waterproof. And this is so small, you can stick it on your keychain. Now, I don't because my keychain is full of crap. In this case, I just slip them in my jacket pocket, and they take up such little space, I don't even know that it's there. And I don't know how many times people say, oh, do you have a light I can't see? Hey, I got my jacket, I got my light, and at night it's still pretty bright when you put it on the bright setting. It's a real handy little light. It's only like 20 bucks. I actually have 4 of them. I got 2 of them here in Tennessee and 2 of them in Rhode Island because they're so handy. And they only have one drawback. They're so tiny, you'll often lose them. That's why I have 2 in Tennessee and 2 in Rhode Island at my bases, right? I have bought 6 of them so far, but I keep losing them. And now my theory is, this time I got a kind of copper golden one, right? You can see this easier. I was getting black ones and I kept losing them, right? They come in many colors, and my advice is get a brighter one because look, it stands up, and when you're looking, you'll see it and won't leave it on the car. Only to have it bounce down the road while you're driving. So that's my advice with these. Get the brightly colored ones, then they're harder to lose. I've never ever had one break or wear out on me, but I keep losing them. So let's hope this copper golden one saves the day and I don't lose these because they're a lot easier to see. Now here's something I'm so pleasantly surprised by leaving in the trunk because I'm using it all the time. It's a CSCRI impact wrench. It works great, and I love the system. It all fits in a nice box, right? So, not only do you have the impact wrench, 2 batteries, a charger, an extension, and a bunch of sockets. Comes with 2 batteries, so you're never out of power, and they're decent. They're 4 ampere hour, 21 volts. They just snap right on, and away you go. And they even have a cool little light. So if it's dark, you can see what you're working on. I've had this one for 6 months and I haven't found anything it couldn't take apart. And I've only had to recharge the batteries 1 time so far. And for those who are weak or getting weak like me, you got to take a wheel off your car. Somebody put it on with an impact wrench. You can't get it off. This will get it off very easily. I'm really surprised at the quality of something that isn't all that expensive. Check it out on Amazon. The whole kit's 109 bucks. Everything I got here, the charger, extension cord, sockets, 2 batteries. Surprised with this because I get a lot of cheap Chinese junk, right? They send me impact wrenches, electric drills, the things spark like mad, short out. After I use them 8 or 10 times, they break. Some of them actually started on fire. I've been using this thing now for like 6 months and I haven't had a single problem with it and hadn't found a single part I couldn't take apart with it. I do have to say, they are coming up in quality and down in price if you pick the right ones. You really have to look closely though. When I say one brand, if you buy one that looks the same but it's a different brand, you never know. I've had Chinese stuff sent to me that one looks exactly the same as the other because they even copy themselves. They don't just copy Western stuff, they copy their own stuff. Like in the case of bicycles, I got a ton of Chinese electric bikes that keep sending them, and now even the Chinese are copying the Chinese. And some of the copies really aren't all that well made. For example, take this bike called VV, I guess they're selling them at Walmart. Okay, they sent me one, and the seat didn't even fit inside the tube here. Oh, loose, it waggled around. So I had to get my grinder, and you can see I cut a big hole here, and then I put a giant bolt and a nut so I could tighten enough so the seat would fit, not wiggle all over the place. It came with a brake light you bolt on here, but there's no wires to hook the brake light up to. So I contacted people who sent me and said, oh, we've been having some production problems at the factory in China, blah, blah, blah. Hey, they sent this bike to me, a guy who's got 2.6 billion YouTube views, and they didn't even make sure that it had all the parts. The seat didn't even fit on the thing. Imagine what they're gonna do if they send you something. Now, granted, we're having a bunch of fun with some of the other Chinese bikes that people sent us, but you gotta be very careful and pick and choose. And watch guys like me who will honestly analyze them. Not some kid who was given a free bike in exchange for saying how great the thing is. No, I'm gonna test it out honestly and show whether they're good or whether they're bad. I'm trying them out, and in this case, hey, I love this flashlight. My wife says I have too many, so I'm gonna give it away. And if you wanna win this cool little flashlight, just paste a clean, non-offensive comment on the YouTube comments below, and the winner will be randomly chosen to get this cool little light so they can see what they're working on for once. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.